I've been completely obsessed with going back and rereading the Skybound arc lately, you know? It's one of those Transformer stories that just fundamentally shifts the board. It's not just another battle, it's a whole new paradigm for the characters, especially the Autobots. Suddenly being stranded on Earth with zero viable exit strategy or immediate hope of rescue. It completely redefines their whole mission.
Oh my gosh, Skybound, right? That whole period in the IDW continuity felt so different. It's the ultimate high-stakes survival story, where the bots aren't just fighting Decepticons. They're fighting isolation, lack of resources, and the terrifying realization that they are trapped and totally dependent on a planet they barely understand. It really hammered home their vulnerability.
Exactly. And that vulnerability is what makes the character dynamics so compelling. Think about the internal struggle, the fractured leadership, particularly how Optimus Prime is dealing with being this legendary, almost mythical leader, yet he's marooned and essentially powerless to protect his crew properly. Plus, you get those incredible, morally ambiguous choices Prowl is forced to make.
Prowl is a whole other conversation, honestly. His pragmatism in Skybound borders on chilling, doesn't it? He's the one making the cold, logical decisions that are necessary for survival, but completely erode the Autobots' moral high ground. He's navigating the ethical gray area where the ends justify the means, and you can't help but wonder if he's the actual antagonist sometimes.
No way! He really is. It's such a brilliant narrative move because it creates friction within the heroes themselves, which is arguably more interesting than just another Autobot versus Decepticon brawl. The drama is internal, personal, and deeply psychological. It forces the reader to question what it truly means to be a hero when you've lost everything and are just trying to survive the next day.
That's spot on. And you have to remember the Earth setting too. The human perspective is often background noise in Transformers, but in Skybound, being stranded means interacting with humanity becomes a vital, volatile plot point. They can't just operate in secret anymore. Their very presence is a massive geopolitical problem. It raises the stakes exponentially because now they're worried about causing a full-blown international incident.
Right, which totally separates it from the Sunbow cartoon where the Earth felt like a convenient battlefield. Here, the planet is a character in its own right, a hostile environment both environmentally and politically. It reminds me of those classic post-apocalyptic stories, but with giant transforming robots. It's a survival tale mixed with a very real political thriller, you know?
Wow, absolutely. And let's not forget that the Decepticons' role, or lack thereof initially, the focus shifts, making it feel less about two massive armies clashing and more about desperate individuals on both sides scrambling to gain any kind of advantage or simply endure. It's a very grounded, almost gritty take, which I love.
The writers really leaned into that gritty realism. It's not a colorful space opera. It's dirt, rust, and desperation. The artwork, too, it was moody, using shadows and atmospheric tones to underscore the hopelessness of their situation. The visual storytelling perfectly complements the narrative focus on how isolation affects their mental state.
Totally agree. The pacing was just relentless. Every chapter felt like a punch to the gut because you truly didn't know if the bots were going to make it or if one of their own would finally snap under the immense pressure of their situation. I remember reading one specific scene and literally having to put the book down for a minute, just from the tension.
Oh, I know the feeling. Speaking of intense moments, what was the biggest jaw-dropping moment for you in that arc? I mean, the world is my battlefield realization and subsequent actions by a certain key character were just, no way. It completely flipped the script on what you thought that character was capable of.
Oh, that was intense. But for me, it was the sheer scope of the desperation when they realized the extent of their energy loss. It wasn't a temporary inconvenience, it was a fundamental, life-threatening crisis that forced alliances and betrayals. It made Cybertron seem impossibly far away, like a dream they'd never return to, which is a haunting feeling.
That longing for Cybertron, that's it. It adds this profound layer of sadness to the whole story. They are legendary warriors reduced to refugees, and the emotional weight of that is just so well executed. It gives depth to characters who sometimes are just seen as colorful toys. They become tragically flawed, fully realized beings.
Precisely. And it's a brilliant example of how you can revitalize an existing franchise by taking away the one thing everyone expects, the open-ended space travel and easy resource access. Suddenly, all their previous victories feel almost hollow because they're back to square one, but with the added weight of past failures.
And the way the arc concludes, setting the stage for the rest of that IDW run, it's just fantastic storytelling. It's a must-read for anyone who appreciates character-driven sci-fi fiction, not just Transformers fans. It proves that a kids' franchise can be deeply serious, dark, and politically sophisticated.
It truly does. It's a perfect microcosm of why that particular era of the comics is so revered. It manages to balance the giant robot action with very human themes of leadership, morality, and resilience. It's the Autobots at their most vulnerable, and that's what makes it so engaging.
Absolutely. So if you're diving back into the Transformers mythology and you want a story with real grit, serious consequences, and incredible character arcs, you know where to start. You have to experience the sheer desperation of Skybound.
Agreed. It's the ultimate payoff for years of character development, forcing them all to face the music on a hostile planet with nowhere to run. What an absolutely phenomenal arc that was.
Seriously, go read it now. It's one for the ages.
Perfect place to wrap up. What a journey through the stranded Autobots experience.